So, I just started opening for the Frontalot band on this tour. It's been a lot of fun. And so I thought I'd try and introduce myself since a lot of you don't know anything about my backstory. I have a stepmother who when she gets a little tipsy, just tells me, that answers any question that I ask, honestly. And my half-brother and my half-sister have never really been interested in pursuing this, but since she's not my real mom, I guess I never got really grossed out when she would tell me about her sexual exploits and things. And I sort of acquired all this, secret family knowledge over the years. And every once in a while I would drop a hint, hoping my brother or sister would, ask me, did Gene ever say anything about... But they just really didn't want to know. So I had nowhere to share all this information, so I decided to put it into a song. My father built a house for my stepmother in the mountains, and he often sees his mistress on the sly. My mother is a lesbian, and she comes with Christmas dinner with her partner to my father's house for pie. My father travels around the world, making friends with other girls, and my stepmom drinks alone and often cries. But she also seems to have a couple lovers on the side as she rants about my father's little lies. Now she was once the principal at an alternative high school where they put on plays about the Marquis de Sade. She tutored my gay uncle who was trying to find himself. This was long before he moved out to Cape Cod. After divorce, my dad was free to woo her in his fashion, and she capitulated even though she was living with a physicist who raised rabbits for their meat and didn't know my father was her other beau. But eventually they made it real, stopped calling it dating, and started procreating in the woods. My father made his fortune, my mother built a porch, and they shared me back and forth through childhood. My father gave me sex talks. He'd never gotten sex talks. He got my mother pregnant the first time. But they chose to find a doctor on the wrong side of the tracks. It was easier than crossing the state line. But even more than sex talks, what influenced me most was seeing my uncle die of AIDS. So as my friends took chances in sexual circumstances, I learned to play guitar and get good grades. It's a mixed up modern family. A mixed up modern family. And true, maybe I know a little too much about the history of my mixed up modern family. My mother had, of course, by then grown tired of dating divorced men and started batting for the other team. I met a girl who liked that fact. Her mom, too, was a dyke, in fact, and I woke up 8 years later from that dream. Her father died of Huntington's, my grandfather of Parkinson's. Their suffering was nature's reprimand to a wife-beater and pedophile, appropriate diseases for two men who never could control their hands. I'm just saying. Now learning why my grandfather was fired as camp counselor explains why my step-uncles are so off, and why I always seem to feel him breathing next to me whenever doctors do the hold and cough. I also know too much about my grandmother's vagina. Her first husband's penis was too thick because the doctors sewed her up too tight after she'd given birth. So when he died, she went and found a thinner dick. Now my stepmom has recovered and she's writing about her life. She sends me long accounts of her affairs. My father lives alone now, but still calls her his wife. I guess they both have love enough to share. For they talked it out and stated that the passion had abated in menopause when she became deranged. And now that it's all on the table, their love's stronger and more able to accept the fact that nothing's really changed. We're still a mixed up modern family. A modern mixed up family. And true, maybe I know a little too much about the history of my mixed up modern family. But I love my mixed up modern family.